What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim back with another video, and today I want to talk to you guys about Destiny and Activision and Bungie as a company. Jason Schreier, who I follow on Twitter, he is a great source for breaking news, tweeted a few hours ago that, effective immediately, Destiny and Activision Blizzard has split, and that Destiny is now fully owned again by Bungie. And that going forward, Bungie is going to have 100% rights to Destiny. He goes on to say that at today's meeting, there was a lot of news. Bungie staff cheered loudly. I can't overemphasize how happy they are not just to get away from Activision, but to have a game that is their own completely. Imagine a Destiny free from Activision's restrictive annualized schedule. And then he goes on to say, important to note, Bungie cheered pretty loudly in 2007 when they split from Microsoft too. Activision is an easy scapegoat, but Bungie has made plenty of its own mistakes on Destiny, and that is very true. Now, what does that mean for the future of Destiny? Well, that remains to be seen. Bungie obviously claimed to fame being the highly coveted Halo games. Breaks off from Halo, sells off that franchise. Builds a new franchise called Destiny, which took the world by storm, largely because nothing like it ever existed. You had an MMO crossing with a first-person shooter, very polished graphics, very polished, refined gameplay, lots of loot grinding, everything that was just amazing about so many different franchises coming into one place. But overwhelmingly, the story was shallow. The gameplay became shallow and repetitive. Destiny 2, absolutely no favors, especially after the amount of build-up that Bungie gave. I got to play it at E3 when I got to go. I did the multiplayer, and it was really just Destiny 1 all over again. The story came out very lackluster, beaten very quickly, and right back where we left off. But by then, so many people had replicated that idea, and so many other great games came out that we just didn't settle for good games. The game ultimately tanked. It went free to play, pretty much. It was given away on PlayStation, given away on the Battle.net launcher. There was some repeated success with the Forsaken expansion, but the truth is Destiny just isn't the same game. It is definitely a shell of its former self. Now, with that in mind, it's interesting to see that people are so excited and revered that Bungie is splitting with Activision, saying, finally, Bungie can go off and do everything they wanted to do. And I have to emphasize that I really believe they did everything they wanted to do in the first Destiny, and it just wasn't that great. They keep going back to this old moniker that they say. We've learned from our mistakes. We're going to make a better game. We're striving to make a better game. If you include all the expansions, there's been a lot of official launches of Destiny across Destiny 1 and 2. You took a lot of the good faith that people had with the Taken King expansion in Destiny 1, and you threw it all out the window for Destiny 2. Now, could you argue by that point that Activision Blizzard had sunk its teeth into the Destiny grind? Well, sure, there's been a lot of news articles by Kotaku and by IGN discussing the behind the scenes of Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 for that matter, where the story was scrapped at the 11th hour, where developers weren't happy, where it was a former shell of itself. Sound familiar? Bungie just has a hard time getting out of its own way, and that will never change. And unfortunately, in my opinion, them breaking free, them starting their own publishing company, them going 100% independent, whatever, I don't necessarily see Bungie being able to figure this out on their own. And I suspect if and when Destiny 3 comes out, a lot of people aren't going to be interested in it. Now, I have been wrong before, and I have been a hypocrite before, and I'll be the first to eat my own words when that day comes. But right now, I think most people's pulse on Destiny is not that hot. I don't think people are expecting this sudden turnaround and revival of a franchise that really let a lot of people down over and over again. Now, it really was force-fed by PlayStation. It was very shocking to see it on the Battle.net launcher, but the truth is, now that the split has occurred, what does it mean for the future? I personally am not optimistic. I don't think this is going to be great. Now, on the flip side of things, if you are an Activision hater, which people love to hate Activision, yet love Call of Duty, which is very hypocritical, Activision shares tank yet again. This has been a reoccurring theme with Activision Blizzard, really trending since BlizzCon when they announced Diablo Immortal. One of my most popular videos, by the way, so thank you guys for that. I made a couple good bucks off that video. That was actually really, really cool. But the truth is, because of the Diablo Immortal debacle, for lack of a better word, Activision Blizzard stock has continued to go down. And after this news, it dropped yet another 7%, dropping its closing price to below $48, which is crazy. The stock continues to drop at such a rapid pace. Man, oh man, what a bull market right now. If you are an Activision Blizzard fan, you probably want to jump on this. So there's the good news, I guess, and the bad news and the in-between news. The truth is, Activision Blizzard is in a bad place right now. It probably was in Destiny / Bungie's best interest to break away and do their own thing. I think we're all assuming that Bungie will create a Destiny 3. Obviously, them retaining those rights and making such a big deal out of it really seems to indicate that they're not going to reboot anything. I shouldn't say reboot. Make a new game altogether and salvage that franchise. Clearly, they made a big deal that Destiny is theirs once again. So we're going to make Destiny great one more time for you guys. For everybody else who's still enjoying Destiny 2, I have pity on you. But more importantly, there's going to be absolutely no interruption in your service. Activision says that they will continue to support the game as long as they can. It's not leaving the Battle.net launcher. It's not getting cut support on PlayStation or Xbox any more than it already has. Although I maintain that game, not a very good state. But there you guys have it. All the news on Bungie and Destiny and Activision. As I mentioned, I am not very optimistic about this. I think this is going to be yet another colossal failure for Destiny. But as I say in all these great Reddit posts and as I see all over social media, prove me wrong. And I would be the first to eat crow and tell you guys, you're absolutely right. I hope that Destiny 3 is phenomenal. But based on everything I've seen, I just cannot believe it. And with that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider commenting, rating, and subscribing. But if not, that's okay too. Have a nice day. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.